You have to keep your partner on their toes because once, it starts getting into a routine, it's like, it gets very boring.
Will Smith has been punished for slapping Chris Rock by getting banned from the Oscars for 10 years. However, some celebs are saying it's not just Will who deserves backlash over this incident, but also his wife Jada. As you all know by now, Will first laughed at Chris's G.I. Jane joke, and only after he realized that Jada wasn't amused, he went crazy, slapped Chris on stage, and then cursed him out, which is why some celebrities are now calling out Jada. On Saturday, April 9th, Jada made her first public appearance after the Oscars slap and joined her friends Shonda Rhimes and Debbie Allen for the grand opening of the Rhimes Performing Arts Center in Los Angeles. And not only did Jada appear to be in good spirits, but she actually looked like she was soaking up every ounce of attention. Meanwhile, her husband is on the verge of being blacklisted by Hollywood, and several of his upcoming projects have been paused indefinitely. Fans are now saying that Jada clearly doesn't feel bad about what happened, and they're slamming her for letting Will take all the heat. "It's the audacity for me," one fan said. "No remorse nor shame at all. What a witch." One fan said, "She's either a really good actor or a complete sociopath. She's not showing any remorse." And another person added, "Jada playing the victim, as always." Another Twitter user said, "Oh, I think Jada is loving this. Getting all this attention and being a victim, it's a narcissist's dream come true." But it's not just fans who are saying this. Some celebs have also called out Jada for her humorless reaction to Chris's harmless joke, and they accused her of throwing Will under the bus. One of these celebs is rapper Kodak Black, who recently called out Jada in an Instagram live video and said she doesn't deserve Will.
Jada Pinkett, baby, you was out of pocket. You out of pocket for that shit. Come with me. That's what you need to do. Cause that shit you doing ain't real, bro. That shit you doing ain't real, bro. See, bro, you just on some bull. You just on some bullshit. You don't deserve Will Smith. You deserve that.
Comedian Ricky Gervais also went off on Jada for overreacting to Chris's joke and said people need to stop acting like alopecia is a disability.
Someone said it was joking about her disability. Well, I'm going a bit thin, so I'm disabled. That means I can park right up next to Tesco's now. And I'm fat. That's a disease. And then I'm fat and balding, but I am.
Ricky then pointed out how telling a joke about someone, no matter how mean, is not the same as physical.
No, words are violence too. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. Violence is violence. Words aren't violence.
Oh, and Ricky also said that if he had been in Chris's place, he would have made a different type of joke about Jada.
What would Ricky Gervais have said? What would have happened to Ricky Gervais? Well, nothing. And I said this live. I said nothing would happen to me because I wouldn't have told a joke about his wife's hair. I'd have told a joke about her boyfriend.
Celeb blogger Perez Hilton also went after Jada for acting like nothing happened and tweeted, "It's back to business as usual for Will Smith's allegedly wife, Jada Pinkett Smith." Actor Michael Rappaport also threw some subtle shade at Jada on Twitter and said that if his wife had been in Jada's place, she wouldn't have let him embarrass himself and his whole family on live TV. Rappaport shared the viral video of Jada laughing after Will slapped Chris and wrote, "People saying Will Smith was protecting Jada. Why wasn't Jada protecting Will from literally ruining his entire career? My wife would have been fighting me before I sat down for making an asshole of myself and our family." Comedian and SNL co-head Michael Che also roasted Jada during the Weekend Update segment and said Jada is insecure and she needs to stop acting like the whole world should know about her alopecia.
Can we stop pretending everybody knew Jada had alopecia? I mean, as much as we heard about Jada and Will's personal lives, you can't expect us to retain everything. It's like Kanye saying, "Don't act like y'all ain't know I had psoriasis." Just selfishly, as a comedian, I'm tired of people putting their own insecurities on our joke intentions.
DL Hughley shared a similar message during a recent interview on Vlad TV and slammed Jada for being ungrateful.
You think we living this good because those Set It Off residuals? You think they making Nurse Hawthorne too?
Jason's lyric ain't
right, they ain't doing that again. And Tupac is dead. He is, so.
Comedian and actress Lunel also called out Jada and accused her of selfishly playing games with both Will and her former entanglement partner, August Alsina.
It was an entanglement.
That was a hurtful word to August. I'm sure he didn't appreciate it because he was in love And he probably thought she was too.
And then Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star and former co-owner of The Source magazine, Benzino, directly called out Jada for mistreating Will and constantly embarrassing him on social media.
I feel like blasting him on social media, embarrassing him, because again, I've been through that too. You know, I've been through that with women, going on social media, saying horrible stuff. I tend to ignore it now, and I'm sure Will does too, but after a while, man, it just builds up, so.
Benzino also suggested that the reason Jada seems to enjoy humiliating Will is because she's jealous of Will's success.
Maybe she's looking at Will as so successful and so big, and maybe I think that's where she wants to be.
Benzino then said something many fans have been talking about on social media, that the real reason Will snapped and slapped Chris wasn't the G.I. Jane joke, but all the accumulated frustration from his marriage that he's been carrying around for years.
I just really think it was the pressure. I think a lot of it has to do with their relationship. And I mean, she's emasculated him. And maybe right then and there, he tried to prove to her that I am a man and I will stick up for you, and you know.
By the way, A$AP Rocky also hinted at Will being emasculated and then taking out that anger on Chris. I think it's unfortunate that he emasculated another black man in front of all them people like that, A$AP said. But I do think that it's some built-up that probably wasn't really targeted at Chris Rock. It seems like it's more than just a G.I. Jane joke. And as for Jada's share of responsibility for the incident, Benzino said he hopes Jada will realize she's been projecting her insecurities on Will and everyone else.
I hope after all this, the one who learns is Jada Pinkett Smith. I hope she learns from this. I hope she can look in the mirror and reflect on herself and see where she's probably pressured this man and got him going crazy.
Many fans agreed with Benzino and said a lot of problems between Will and Jada stem from Jada's narcissism and jealousy. You were so right when you said that she's looking at Will's success and it's where she wants to be. It's one of the traits of a covert narcissist, one fan said. Those people are dangerously jealous people, and if they can't get where you are or they can't have what you have, they will bring you down. These people have absolutely no boundaries, and forgiving them is a waste of time because whatever you forgive them for, they'll go right back and do it in front of your face. Only this time, it will be worse, and then they'll blame you for doing it. And another person commented, "The slap shows how much she has been breaking him down, probably since day one. If he commits a crime or self-harms, it doesn't matter to her. What she's done this year is show everyone just how toxic she is. I'm sure he's no saint, but there's no call for constantly trying to expose his weaknesses publicly unless she wants him to self-destruct." And speaking of insecurities, in a recently resurfaced clip from Red Table Talk, Jada admitted that she's biased against white women with blonde hair.
I do have my own biases, specifically with blonde women. Blonde hair on white women just triggers me.
Many fans have attributed Jada's comments about blonde women to her jealousy of one specific blonde actress, Margot Robbie. See, back in 2013, rumors about Will having an affair with Margot started circulating after intimate photos emerged of Will and Margot behind the scenes on the set of their film Focus. And then in 2016, Will and Margot reunited for Suicide Squad, and that same year, Margot appeared on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and answered Will Smith to a question she refused to reveal.
No, that's not how I cannot reveal this question.
Really?
No, I cannot. No, absolutely not. I can tell you the answer though, and the answer is Will Smith. But I cannot tell you the question, I'm afraid.
And now that this clip of Jada saying she's triggered by white women with blonde hair has resurfaced, many fans are calling out Jada for being deeply insecure like all narcissists. One Twitter user said, "Jada Pinkett Smith said she hated blonde white women, so really that should have been your first clue that she was a bad person." It's funny, she calls herself biased, not racist. "She's that devil Denzel was talking about," one fan commented. "She uses euphemisms all the time when trying to justify herself," another person replied. She called her adultery an entanglement. Even Will Smith laughed about it. "She's unbelievable." One fan commented, "That's why she has that show. It's showtime for her to be able to justify her shenanigans. Narcs do that." Another comment read, "I'm starting to understand why that evil Jada started hooking up with her son's friend. She still is jealous of Margot and Will." And another fan wrote, "Could you imagine what it would be like to have all that money, a beautiful, warm family, and good health, yet still be so angry, bitter, and so unhappy?